Have you ever looked around your life? Maybe you're sitting in a nice house. You've got a steady job. The latest iPhone is in your pocket. And yet, there's this quiet, nagging feeling that something is just missing. You're not alone. In fact, most of us are feeling it. We live in the wealthiest, most advanced nation in history, but we've never been more unsettled. Why is that? Why are we, as Americans, so unhappy despite having everything we thought we wanted? Today, I want to talk to you, not as a researcher or a lecturer, but as someone who sees the same empty eyes in the grocery store and the same burnout in our friends. We're going to look at why we've lost our way, why our American dream has turned into a bit of a nightmare, and how our decision to cut ties with faith might be the biggest mistake we've ever made. Let's be real for a second. The numbers are staggering. Over the last 10 years, depression rates in the US have jumped by nearly 60%. Think about that. 1 in 5 adults, that's your neighbor, your coworker, maybe even you, has been told by a doctor that they have clinical depression. But it's more than just a medical diagnosis. It's what psychologists call an existential vacuum. It's that hollow feeling where life feels like it's just happening to you, rather than you living it. We've become parts of a machine. We're treated like robots, valued for our tax bracket or our job title instead of our souls. And honestly, robots don't need a purpose, but human beings do. Without it, we just start to break down. Have you felt the silence lately? Even when you're scrolling through a feed of 500 friends? Our Surgeon General, Dr. Vivek Murthy, put out a warning that everyone needs to hear. Loneliness is a national epidemic. Half of us, 50% of American adults, feel deeply, painfully alone. And get this isn't just all in your head. Being lonely is as dangerous for your body as smoking 15 cigarettes a day. It raises your risk of heart disease and stroke by about 30%. So what happened to us? We stopped hanging out on porches. We stopped knowing our neighbors. But the biggest shift? About 50% of people surveyed believe that our lack of spiritual or religious life is the reason we're so isolated. We traded our pews and our communities for blue light and scrolling. We were meant to be connected to something bigger, and without that anchor, we're just drifting. My heart really goes out to the younger generation, Gen Z. You guys are the most connected generation in history, yet you're the most stressed. About 65% of Gen Zers have faced a serious mental health struggle in just the last 2 years. And here's the pattern. Gen Z is also the most unaffiliated generation in our history. Nearly 38% have no religious connection at all. Now, maybe you left the church because it felt old-fashioned or because you thought science had all the answers. But look at the result. When we tell our kids they are just cosmic accidents with no divine purpose, we shouldn't be surprised when they feel hopeless. Nearly 20% of high schoolers have seriously considered suicide this past year. That's a cry for help if I've ever heard one. They aren't looking for another app. They're looking for a reason to exist. So what do? We try to fix it, right? Americans spend billions on meditation apps and mindfulness retreats, but a lot of it is what critics call McMindfulness. It's a corporate tool. It's designed to keep you calm just so you can go back to your desk and be more productive for the machine. It's like putting a Band-Aid on a broken soul. We don't just need to de-stress, we need to find our way back to the source.
So, we've talked about the hole in our hearts. But here's the thing. What if I told you that science actually proves we were built to be connected to something bigger? There's this incredible new field called neurotheology. It sounds fancy, but it's basically the study of how our brains react to faith. Researchers at schools like Harvard and UPenn have been peeking into the brains of people while they pray or meditate using SPECT scans. And what they found is honestly mind-blowing. When you're in deep prayer, your frontal lobe, the part of your brain that handles focus and emotions, actually gets a workout. It becomes more active and stronger. But even cooler, the parietal lobe, which is the part of your brain that tells you where your body ends and the rest of the world begins, goes quiet. Scientists call this functional deafferentation. Essentially, your ego melts away. You lose that stressful feeling of being a lonely individual, and you feel this profound sense of oneness with the infinite. It turns out, your brain isn't just imagining a creator, it's physically wired to experience one. Now, you might be thinking, that's cool for a moment, but I live in the real world with real stress. Well, the benefits aren't just temporary. Dr. Sarah Lazar at Harvard used MRI scans to show that just 8 weeks of spiritual meditation can actually shrink your amygdala. If you don't know the amygdala, it's basically the fear and panic button in your brain. Most of us in America are walking around with an amygdala that's overworked and swollen from constant stress. Faith literally shrinks the part of you that's afraid. And it doesn't stop there. Dr. Herbert Benson, a famous heart doctor at Harvard, discovered what he called the relaxation response. He found that when we pray or focus on a sacred word, our bodies release nitric oxide, which relaxes our blood vessels and drops our blood pressure almost instantly. He even found that this practice changes the expression of 1,771 genes related to our immune system and stress. Think about that. When we walk away from faith, we aren't just losing a tradition, we are walking away from our body's natural way of staying healthy and calm. I know what some of you are thinking, but wait, I'm a person of logic. Isn't faith for people who can't handle the facts? Actually, some of the world's greatest scientific minds found their way to God through their research. Take Dr. Francis Collins, for example. He led the Human Genome Project, the team that mapped the entire 3 billion letter code of human DNA. He started as a hardcore atheist, but as he looked at the DNA, he didn't see a random accident. He saw what he called the language of God. He realized that evolution couldn't explain altruism, why we feel a moral law to help a stranger, even if it costs us something. He realized that science tells us how we work, but faith tells us why we're here.
Then there's Dr. Rosalind Picard at MIT. She's a genius in the world of artificial intelligence. She used to think religious people were just weak-minded, but she decided to actually read the book of Proverbs in the Bible, and she was hit with a level of practical wisdom she'd never seen in a textbook. As a computer scientist, she looked at the complexity of a single human cell and realized it was a software code so advanced, it had to have a designer. She famously said she was an arrogant fool to think she was too smart for God. She found that faith didn't take away her science. It made her life three-dimensional and colorful. So look, America is struggling. We're tired, we're lonely, and we're searching for something that money or another mindfulness app just can't provide. We've tried the nothing but materialism experiment, and the results are in. It's making us miserable. But there's a way out. Our brains, our hearts, and our very DNA are crying out for a connection to the one who made us. You weren't made to be an isolated machine. You were made to be an intentional creation, loved by a power that's bigger than your wildest dreams. Whether it's through prayer or just sitting in silence and acknowledging that there is a designer behind this beautiful universe, that's where the peace begins. Thank you for sitting down with me today. I really hope this message helps you see that your search for peace isn't just a feeling. It's a call to come back home to your Creator. If this conversation sparked something in you, please don't keep it to yourself. Share this video with a friend who might be struggling. And if you want to keep exploring how faith and logic come together to give us a better life, make sure to subscribe to our channel, Full Faith. We've got so many more deep, heart-to-heart conversations coming your way, and we'd love for you to be a part of our community. Stay hopeful, stay connected, and remember, you were never meant to walk this path alone. God bless you, and we'll see you in the next one.